Hey everyone, Douglas Blair Roberts here, the Super Beta 400, Mr. the Fanboy, and of course the brown skinned human. Come back at you with another professional wrestling series of reviews. And as you can see by the title, this is my Impact Wrestling pay-per-view in 2019 review. The very first one we're going to start off with is Bound for Glory 2019. Been trying to do this video for some time now, but for some odd reason I've always wanted to go in order and start with early 2019, even though early 2019 is nowhere near as good as mid to late to mid 2019. So with this pay-per-view series, I'm going to start off I'm going to start off with the best and go all the way to the least and worst. And the best show was Impact Wrestling Bound for Glory 2019. That will be reviewed right here in this off-camera portion. Then the match reviews will be when when I um when I make my grand entrance on will be on camera. Will be on camera. The match reviews of the Battle Royal, Ken Shamrock versus Moose, and the main event of Brian Cage versus Sami Callihan. Those are the three matches that will be reviewed. For the other ones, Slammiversary, Rebellion, Homecoming, and any of the one night only shows I can still find. There will be a part two. There will be a part two. There will be a part two. Quote unquote. There will be a quote unquote part two narration. There will be a part. Two, there will be a part two webcam. The part two off-camera webcam narration. Then the match reviews and rants for those respective shows. But yeah, let's so yeah. Yeah, this is also a remake of another video I've done, but I haven't uploaded yet. I did another one where I reviewed the show separately and the matches separately, but I never uploaded that one. That one may be uploaded in the future. It's on my channel, but it's in private. Then there was another one, and then there was another series I was gonna do, and that was of course the audio narration with pictures. That's taking longer than usual, so that will be sometime in the future. Also, this will only have one to three match reviews. But in the future, since I like this show and many more so much, I might review them and review the other matches on the card too. Since I like rewatching this show, and the links, of course, are still available. For those of you who want the links, just comment on the video, and I'll give you the links to watch these events. Don't feel like putting them all in there, but I may put them in there if I remember. So yeah, Bound for Glory 2019. What a phenomenal pay-per-view it was from beginning to end. The entire card. I enjoyed every match, with of course the main events and the opener being the best. And those are the two matches I chose to review first. That's why this review took so long. It's nearly like 1 to 2 years late, 1.5 years late because I couldn't decide what to review first. I wanted to review everything, but that was taking too long. So I decided to review my favorite stuff from the card, my favorite, most preferred stuff to watch. But I enjoy everything. In the opener, you had Eddie Edwards defeating Joey Ryan, Renault Scum, Rohit Raju, Gama Singh, Tommy Dreamer, Johnny Swinger, Sabu, Mahabali Shira, who he pinned last, Mahabali Shira, and and um and several women, Swoggle, and Jake and Cody Deaner to win the Call Your Shot Battle Royal for a match for a title match of his choosing anytime he won in this Battle Royal right here. Awesome match. I'm just mad that wrestlers like Petey Williams, Aiden Prince, and T.J. Perkins were nowhere near this match. Were quote unquote nowhere near this match. They would have made it even much more exciting. X Division guys. But yeah, it was awesome seeing Joey Ryan again, who got the loudest pop of the night, followed by the debuting Kali Ray. Wish Johnny Swinger could have done more too. He had a brief spot in this match too. Um, then you had Michael Logan defeating Marufuji in a pretty good match. Nothing special, but a great match nonetheless. Then you had the tag team match with Rhino, RVD, taking on the North. And this is interesting right here because I wanted RVD and Rhino to defeat the North, Ethan Page and Josh Alexander, the North. But RVD, for the first time since 1997 and the Alliance days, turned heel by turning on Rhino in the match. I remember I was mad at the time, but I can congratulate Impact Wrestling for having the balls to do something like that. Used to do something like that in 2019. Still trying to make the RVD character, who was really just here for nostalgia matches, try to make him briefly relevant in try to make not try to make his try to upgrade and evolve his character more from what it was in the past. I respect Impact Wrestling for that, and I'm sad that he's no longer in Impact Wrestling. He had a lot of people I wanted him to feud with and face before he departed from Impact Wrestling. Next is so, and with Rhino, with RV turning on Rhino, that allowed Ethan Page and Josh Alexander to retain. Then you had the four-way person X Division ladder match between Jake Christ, and Ace Austin, two of the wrestlers I wanted to win. The newly debuted Ace Romero, and Tessa Blanker, awesome match. Only thing I hate about this match is Tessa Blanker, because we see what happened. We saw Tessa Blanker's true colors when the COVID-19 pandemic hit, and I wish that Impact Wrestling did not dedicate so much time pushing her, because that caused a lot of wrestlers like Brian Cage, Killer Cross, and many more to leave. That also caused Eli Drake to leave. So I'm a huge fan of Tessa Blanchard as a wrestler. I have a huge hatred for her as a person, for the harm she's done to Impact Wrestling, But the right guy won here. Ace Austin won this awesome match right here. Then you had the main events: Moose versus King Shamrock, football versus MMA, and Shamrock at 56 years old tore it up. Both him and Moose played their roles and characters well, but Shamrock at 55 years old tore it up, and in 2020 at 56 years old still tore it up. Ken Shamrock, the first and original, and currently the new Brian Cage is Ken Shamrock. Then after that, main event: Brian Cage versus Sami Callihan. Another tough physical match between two of the toughest and biggest and strongest wrestlers in Impact Wrestling, Brian Cage and Callihan. And boy, was it an awesome match. Some people say Callihan should have won here. Probably should have, especially after that awesome promo he cut in the beginning, talking about his whole career and each crime he committed in wrestling. But I've wanted the Machine to hold on to that belt for a long time. Callahan would later dethrone him for the belt on an Impact after this. But Brian Cage, man, was this a phenomenal match, man. And Brian Cage came out dressed as Wolverine earlier in the match. So yeah, this was Impact Wrestling Bound for Glory. Also, the One Shots to Glory song that played in the theme song, that played in the intro, that was good. That was good too. So, and this had probably one of the largest crowds of Impact Wrestling. So, like I said, a phenomenal card, man. Well, let me get started with the intro right now. Hey everybody, it's time for the part two results portion of my review and rant of Slammiversary 2019. Like I said, an awesome pay-per-view, even way better than Rebellion, but it had a lot of the same problems Rebellion had, and that was the card structure, especially the main event. After the badass match between Brian Cage, which saw him retaining his championship by defeating Michael Logan via roll up. After seeing this badass match, I did not want to see Sami Callihan and Tessa Blanchard an intergender match, and at the time I defended this match and feud in Impact Wrestling. Now, looking what Tessa Blanchard did several months later, and the ramifications for this, which caused several wrestlers to leave. I hate Impact. I still like Impact Wrestling, but I hate them for doing this and wish they did not push Tessa Blanchard, a woman, a female, over their entire roster. Over their entire roster. So yeah, that was the only problem I had with this awesome show. Then then of course other stuff, other nitpicks would be Petey Williams, Aiden Prince, and Ace Austin were for the most part nowhere near this show, but still a pretty awesome show. Like I said, the show started off with Willie Mack defeating Jake Christ and TJP and Trey Miguel in an awesome four-way opener. Then the North defeated the Rascals and LAX in a much better three-way tag team match for the tag team championships. Um, Eddie Edwards defeated Killer Cross in the first blood match. Awesome match. Nothing really special except for what happened at the end. Then Moose defeated Rob Van Dam in one of the best matches of the night. Then Talia Valkyrie defeated Jessica Habit, Rosemary, and Sue Young in a four-way Monsters Ball for the Knockouts Championship. That was good. Rich Swann defeated Johnny Impact for the Impact Championship. Once again, it was this match. This was one of the matches that built and put over Rich Swann as a force to be reckoned with, and now he's the top star and the double champ in Impact Wrestling. Then, like I said, main event, Brian Cage defeated Michael Logan in one of the greatest and coolest main events ever. And this pay-per-view had a much louder crowd. They were much more into this one. They even a fight for honor chant broke out during this match. And I mentioned the crappy main event with Sami Callihan defeating Tessa Blanchard. Well, this was the results portion. Get ready for the match reviews next. I'm only gonna talk briefly about the first three matches. Then the Moose RVD match in the main event, what I consider the main event, Brian Cage and Michael Logan. So with that being said, let's get started. Alright, now it's time for my review of the first three matches. First will be the four-way match between Willie Mack, Trey Miguel, TJ Perkins, and Jake Christ. Then the three-way tag team match between the Rascals, Zachary Wentz and Desmond Xavier, Josh and Ethan Page, Josh Alexander and Ethan Page, and LAX, followed by the final one, Eddie Edwards and Killer Cross. There will be no matches playing in the background for this, because each of these will be quick. This video right here will be quick. Don't have a lot to say. I don't have a lot to say because these matches, while awesome, they were just way too. It was just way too much to call. And the Eddie Edwards and Killer Cross match, there really wasn't that much interesting in the match. The interesting thing was what happened at the end. Anyway, let's continue. The first match was the four-way, the X Division four-way, which was a phenomenal four-way. Despite the four guys in the ring, all four of these guys were great, with TJ Perkins and Jake Christ being my favorites. These are the guys I wanted to win. Willie Mack won with a frog splash to either Jake Christ or Trey Miguel. I can't remember. I think it was Jake Christ. Jake Christ didn't really get to do much in this match. He didn't really get to do a lot of his cool body kick combo maneuver that he does. And
there were way too much action to call. The most memorable and funniest moments of the match was after Trey Miguel took out everyone, Willie Mack recovered and knocked him out with a hard right hand. It was just so hilarious. It was just so hilarious. There was also some brief multi-man submission hold led by T.J. Perkins at one point in the match, but these were the only memorable portions of the match. But great X Division four-way match. But you didn't have any like big stars like Petey Williams, Ace Austin, Aiden Prince, or Brian Cage. So yeah, it was what it was. Then the next match of the night was the three-way. This was an even better, the three-way tag team match. This was an even better match. Once again, way too hard to call. I wanted the Rascals to win, but Ethan Page and Josh Alexander won. Rascals, Ethan Page. The two most memorable parts were Ethan Page after slamming, I think it was Zachary Wentz, slamming him to the ground with a front slam. Josh Alexander with a front slam. Ethan Page hit a moonsault off the top rope onto one of them for a 2 count. Then later, they took Desmond Xavier out with a brutal move and nearly won it, but Desmond Xavier managed to power out of it. Then later in the match, when everybody was out, the North double teamed Zachary Wentz when he tried to fight back. He started off good, but numbers got to him. Then Desmond Xavier managed to recover. They managed to take out one of the LAX members with a cool finisher, with several springboard finishing maneuvers. The North then powerbombed one of the LAX to interrupt the pin, then take the pin for themselves for the 1, 2, 3. Then you had Eddie Edwards versus Killer Cross. Great match. Nothing really exciting happened except for the end where Eddie Edwards sacrificed Kenny, broke the kendo stick in half, and used the shards of the kendo stick to bust and cut Killer Cross wide open, thus winning the First Blood match. And I think this will be Killer Cross's final appearance in Impact Wrestling. He will disappear and will be kept off TV until December, where he will finally be released from Impact Wrestling. He will briefly appear in Major League Wrestling before appearing in NXT, where he is now. WWE on NXT brand, which is where he is now. So these were the first 3 matches of the night. Get ready for the Moose and RVD match coming next. The match replay will be playing in the background for that one.
Hey everyone, it's now time for my review of the fight between Moose and Rob Van Dam. Let me start the match right now.
On the outside, Rob trying to find out. Hurricane run by Van Dam. Moose set flying.
Hey everyone, like I said, this is my review of Moose versus Rob Van Dam, what was just like the main event. This was one of my all-time favorite feuds from 2019, Moose versus the ECW originals, and this didn't disappoint. This is between Moose and only 2 of the best athletes and best and toughest wrestlers in Impact Wrestling, just like the main event was. And boy, was it a fight. It was way too many spots to call. It started off with RVD immediately getting the best of Moose with his signature punches and spin kicks and rolling thunders. Then Moose started responding with moves of his own, including Chris Sabin's hesitation drop kick to RVD in the corner. Then they did a bunch of other moves. They took the fight to the outside. To the outside. Moose ended up getting the chair. And Moose, quote unquote, then hit RVD with the chair. RVD with the chair. RVD would later give him the Van Daminator. Then he would try the 5-star frog splash. He would miss it and hit the chair in a brutal spot. That had to hurt. I cringed when I saw that moment in Moose.
would then hit him with the no jackhammer needed spear for the 1, 2, 3, thus winning this awesome fight right here. Apologize if I can't name any more moves, but like I said, the match was just too awesome. I was just so into the story. It's hard to remember and recall every cool move that these wrestlers do. This was another awesome match. All right, main event is next.
As good and as big as Moose. No doubt we've all spent.
Hey everyone, it's now time for my review of the main event of Impact Wrestling Slammiversary 2019. Just got done watching it again for this review, and that was Brian Cage versus Michael Elgin for the Impact Wrestling World Heavyweight Championship. Let me start the match right now.
Brian, look at this. Can Brian Cage get to the level of Michael Elgin in this heavyweight power?
What a phenomenal fight this was, man. What a phenomenal fight this was, man. Between two, at this time, two of the biggest and toughest wrestlers in Impact Wrestling. I wanted these two, with Rhino included, Killer Cross, Moose, RVD, and Eddie Edwards in a multi-man gauntlet match, and Monsters Ball. And it sucks I'll never get that now. With also Callahan. People forget about Callahan included too. I got something similar to that later that year in 2019 with Tessa Blanchard involved, which I'm going to get to that in this video right here. But man, what a phenomenal fight this was. After both men made their entrances, and after the awesome video package with that we're gonna make him, that Armageddon song that plays in the background was awesome. These guys started slugging it out. These guys started slugging it out with Brian Cage clotheslining Elgin over the top rope and hitting a springboard swan dive, senton swan dive bomb onto Elgin. You don't see big men move like this. in other companies. And these two guys did it. Elgin, Brian Cage did his moves, the discus clothesline, the clothesline into the corner, another cool move where he had him in a pump handle slam, an abdominal stretch position, and picked him up for a pump handle slam and slammed him forward between his legs for a driver style of move, pump handle into driver, then a dragon suplex to Brian then he did a dragon suplex to Elgin. So many powerful maneuvers. The clotheslines in the corner, followed by the Izaguri into German suplex. He did that move. Then Elgin did the spinning powerbomb. And then the end of the match is where it really got good. After these guys battled it back, the end of the match is where it really got good. Brian Cage hit the F5, but that wasn't enough. So then he tried it again. Michael Elgin reversed the F5 into a Canadian destroyer. Then took Brian Cage out with a spinning. Took Brian Cage out with a right hand into the drill claw. That still wasn't enough. Then he did the powerful backhand fist again, and power bomb Brian Cage into the turnbuckle. Then he prepared to powerbomb him again, but Brian Cage reversed it with a back body drop. But Elgin still held on, and Brian Cage sat down on him for the 1, 2, 3. There were so many moves in this match. I apologize if I'm missing so many moves from this awesome match. I didn't feel like taking notes or scripts from everything that happened in this match. But like I said, this was a phenomenal fight. After it was over, Elgin attacked Brian Cage with the title, but a guy in a hood debuted, obviously Rhino, but they wanted to keep his identity a secret at the time, came and gored Michael Elgin, setting up their feud, Michael Elgin and Rhino. Like I said, this was an awesome main event. This was the main event for me. But you know what? Once again, just like with Rebellion, this was not the main event. The main event was a stupid intergender match and feud between Tessa Blanchard and Sami Callihan. At the time, I defended this and accepted it. It said it was okay. Now, I regret that decision and think this was a terrible idea and wish Impact Wrestling did not put so much time into putting over Tessa Blanchard, who, when the going got tough, when COVID-19 pandemic here, instead of being here like the champion you're supposed to be, split town and ran, causing Impact Wrestling to strip her from the title and change her plans. And her being pushed to the top caused the departures of this man, Brian Cage, Killer Cross, and Eli Drake months before. So, that's why this pay-per-view, just like Rebellion, it will end with, despite how awesome it was, it will end with what I made of, the Rant, which is a song used for Rant, because to have this as the main event is a joke, man. Is a joke, and I regret defending this back in 2019 when this happened right here. So, with that being said, I'm finished for now. You don't hear the rest of the music. Turn the video off right now.
A very rare story, John. Very rare for Brian Cage to show pain, to show emotion like that in the ring.